Well, I do think some in the Westminster bubble do get carried away from time to time. And I think they have done recently, because if you look at the polling now for the Labour Party, I mean, some of the mainstream media narrative would have you believe, you know, Labour should be 20 or 30 points ahead. And as Andrew Pearce points out, 2 polls now have cut Labour's lead down to only 3% after a torrid time for Boris Johnson over Partygate. Starmer, he says, should be 20 ahead. And as I said, I think some people have got way ahead of themselves. And it shows you actually how quickly politics can change, because YouGov, for instance, on the 1st and 2nd of February, had a 9-point lead for Labour 10 days or so later, and that is down to just a 3-point lead. This latest polling shows Labour down 4 points from the previous poll they did at the beginning of this month. They're down to 37%. The Tories actually up to 34%, hence the lead shrinking to just 3 points. You've also got the Lib Dems there on 10, the Greens on 8, the SNP on 5, and Reform UK on 4. By the way, when you look at those figures, I still think there's a good chance you'll see Labour do a deal with the Lib Dems, with the Greens, perhaps with the SNP in return for another referendum. When you dial into these figures, it's the same old story. The reason that the Tories have lost some support is because only 57% of Leave voters in this poll are currently intending to vote Tory. 9% of Leave voters are now intending to vote for the Reform Party. And Labour's lead, actually, with middle class voters is 6 points. But the Tories are actually ahead with working class voters slightly on 1 point. That pattern that we've seen of middle class voters tending to be more sympathetic to Labour and working class Brits back in the Tories, that continues. You see that through this poll. This isn't just a single pollster. You also had Opinium this weekend also shrinking the Labour lead down to the same 3-point gap there, though they said they had changed their methodology. But nevertheless, you know, 2 polls there that have the Labour lead shrinking to just 3 points, which, given the absolute kick-in that the government, that Boris Johnson have had from large elements of the media, you would expect Labour to be doing much better than they are. I think it comes down once again to policy. There doesn't seem to be much there from Labour, and of course the Conservative government with that big majority could be doing a lot more to win back Brexiteer support, triggering Article 16, committing to net migration to the tens of thousands, committing to leaving the ECHR to get a proper handle on illegal migration, committing to a new grammar school in the poorest postcodes of this country, ditching the House of Lords and going for an English Parliament instead. A big push for energy independence, really, that we need to see now, including fracking. As ever, guys, I'll keep bringing you the very latest on this, but let me know if these numbers surprise you or not, and who do you currently intend to vote for. As ever, guys, if you enjoyed this video, do give it a quick thumbs up, and of course, as ever, thanks so much for watching.